Hello everyone. I am still on vacation, but we prepared another video for you, this time with Vladimir, and Vladimir will share with us his secret on how he can answer all the questions in Slack. But before that, hi Vladimir, please tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi. So, yeah, where do I start? I'm born in Ukraine, but I grew up in Israel, and after that, I went on living in the US for some time, and now I'm in Germany. So that kind of summarizes a lot of my fields in my life. You know, lived in many places, worked in many different things, interested in many things. So I'm actually trained as a mathematician and recently transitioned to data science. But yeah, I worked in a lot of different things, like milking cows, for example, or washing dishes, or being security guard, or was a military medic. So, you know, I like to try different things, and yeah, that kind of leads me in life to, yeah.
Data science sounds very boring after all these things, or is it not?
Well, you know, we'll see in 5 years. Maybe I'll start a new career. You never know. It's hard to know in advance, right? You enter the field because of this nice poster, you know, the sexiest job in the century or in the 2020 or something. But we'll see in 5 years if it's boring or not.
Yes, we'll see. So you are very active in Data Talks Club. In Slack, it seems that you know the answer to any data science related questions. How do you do this? Can you tell us your secret?
Yeah, well, I think it's easier to make an impression that you know a lot of things than to actually know a lot of things. So I don't know if you want to know how to make an impression or how to actually learn things.
Maybe a bit of both.
Yeah, but I think when I started transitioning to data science, like I saw this statement, oh, you know, you need to learn by doing. And this concept comes from like software engineering. And I agree with it mostly, but I think for a lot of abstract things, you actually want to learn by teaching. So this is something from academia, but it's really, you know, I'll give you an example. You want to understand something like linear regression, right? And you can go and say, okay, I'm going to implement it, you know. But when you implement it, you are just copying formulas from a book into NumPy, which, you know, teaches you how to multiply matrices in NumPy, but not really the concepts. But you know, if you have to explain to someone linear regression, that's you're going to learn much more from it. So, you know, I see it really as an opportunity to learn, to revisit my knowledge, because every time I see a question, I actually, I only know like 50% of the answer, or I'm only 50% sure. So maybe I'll think about it more, and maybe I'll revisit and learn a bit more about it. I really think, you know, even when you learn something new, pretend that you are explaining it to someone, or you are answering, or you are accidentally asked this question in the interview about this topic and you're answering it, you know. So if you just think that you explain it to someone, you'll understand it much better. So that's why I love these questions on Slack. Yeah.
So the reason you're answering questions is because you want to, how to say, to train your teaching skills to make sure you really understand these concepts, right?
Yes,
And try to
and
explain this simply.
it's really more to understand the concept than you know, to improve my teaching skills, because, you know, versus learning by doing, you only get one shot. Like when you do it at home, you can run your code like 20 times and change these things without understanding what you changed, and you know, in the end it works. But when you explain to someone, once you gave a wrong answer, you know, you lost all your credit. You can go home and never show up again. So you really need to understand things better before you start speaking. So it's a good motivation to learn things. Yeah.
And do you also try to make sure that before you hit this publish button, before you hit this enter button to send the message, do you try to double check what you write?
Well, it depends on, yeah, it depends on the type of the question. And yeah, of course, you know, you weigh different questions differently. And also it depends on the situation, if I'm in a rush. Um, So yeah, of course, I would advise to double check. But yeah, of course, many times I gave an answer and like a second later realized, oh, I missed that, or maybe it's a wrong answer completely. So yeah, it's a mix.
How would you suggest people who are maybe afraid of answering questions? They see a question, they think they can answer this, but they're just afraid of being wrong, and then that's why they don't answer.
I think the first thing is not to be afraid of being wrong, and I've seen it a lot in academia that people are afraid to, to be discovered that they're fraud, that they don't know anything. But the fact is that, everybody feels like that. And how many times you felt that someone gave an answer and it's like complete nonsense? Yeah, just try to see it from point of view of other people. Like they actually don't judge you as much as you think they judge you for like not precise answer. I think any answer, whether it's like a full answer or partial answer or even the wrong answer, it initiates a discussion. And the main thing is many times is not the answer, but it's the discussion. Because this engagement, in the end, by law of large numbers, you will have some kind of positive things from this engagement. 99% of the conversations, we will forget about them. They would not lead to anywhere, but there would be 1% that would push someone's model maybe better, or would improve someone's project management skills, or maybe would lead to a contact that would get you hired. It just keep engaging, and I know like the first time is always very hard. I mean, I personally don't have a social media, unless you count LinkedIn as social media. So it was also hard for me to like write for the first time because I've never done it in my life. It gets easier at the 10th time, and then you don't care after 50 times.
So in summary, don't be afraid. Nobody's going to judge you, and then it gets easier. Just you need to practice.
Yes, okay. That's a good summary for a 5-minute rant.
Other thing I noticed, so we have this Book of the Week channel where we invite book authors and ask them questions. And every time you ask a question there, you win a book. So how do you manage to do that?
Yeah, so I don't want to address all the speculations that were raised, but I think I was lucky to join this community on a very early stage. So it was easier to win books in the beginning, which is also a lesson, jump on the opportunities. You see something is starting, jump early on the opportunities. But for me, this event, again, it's an opportunity to learn like new random things, because I think like the learning process, it's a mix of, there is the structured part where you learn like things that you think you need for your career and you need for your job, and it's you learn all the fundamentals. But then there is unstructured part where you want to learn completely random things, and you never know like which random things are useful or not, right? Sometimes you see this pattern in a completely different field and you can import it to solve your problem because you see analogies and problems. So it gives you like a great opportunity to just learn completely random things that are useful from experts. You can, I don't know that many mediums where you can ask a question to an expert and the expert is obligated to answer it. And you can ask like the vaguest questions, like what's the deal with graph databases? But you'll get a coherent answer, and maybe from that answer there will be something that interests you and encourages you to learn it. Because like when I started transitioning to data science, like one of the hardest things is after you learn like all this like standard things that everybody learns, like what do you learn next? I've never seen on my LinkedIn feeds, I see like, these are the 10 concepts that you need to learn to become a data scientist. Nobody tells you what's like number 11, right? Mm-hmm. Like I've seen the 50 cheat sheets for pandas. Like I don't need that many. But to get this like random pieces and of knowledge that are put into like very nicely formulated, it just you learn about a new thing, and then you can decide if you want to read more about it or not. I think it's really great. It's a curated content that, you know, you choose different topic every time. I like to see like what kind of questions other people ask, because then I know like what are the things that I didn't think about but they're important in data science. Yeah, I think that's the main. I did win a lot of books, but I think the main outcome is just, you know, reading the discussions there and participating.
So you will not tell us your secret how you actually win them?
Well, I think when I win enough books and then I don't need any more, then I can share my secret. Yeah.
Okay.
But I still want to win some books. So.
Do you have any? I think you've given a couple of pieces of advice to us. Do you have any more advice to anyone who is listening to this?
Yeah, I assume that people who are listening, a lot of them are in this stage of transitioning to data science and trying to break through in the field. And one of the advice I want to give, and I think I've seen it a lot in conversations with people who are also transitioning. You know, we learn a lot, like from your channel, for example, how data science projects work, like how project management works. And I maybe want to encourage people more to treat the learning process a little bit like a machine learning project, because people are kind of lost, like in what should I learn? Like, you know, everybody knows so much, like how do I learn all these things, in which order, from which resources? And treat it as a machine learning project, you know, get your data, don't jump into modeling. So, you know, set your goals, try to understand what kind of a career do you want. There is no shortcut for that. There's no one fits all answer, right? Like there's no blog that tells you these are the 10 things that you read and you become data scientist. Like that doesn't.
There are a couple of blogs. I'm not sure how.
No, there are many of them, but they would never fit you. You know, it's like using the same tool for every problem in data science. So everybody has a different career in their mind. So that means that they would need different fundamental things. So you need to figure out this by yourself many times, with a little bit of help, but many times you need to figure out by yourself because it's very individual. And you can treat it, you know, the same way you treat machine learning. Iterate, revisit your goals, set your goals again, develop some metric, decide like, I read this book, was it good? No. Like, so what was wrong about choosing this book? I chose it based on some advice. Maybe I should listen to another advice. You know, and yeah, and talk to other people. That's also important in data science projects. So really, I think it's no different from any other project that you manage in life. And project management is important in manufacturing, in construction, in software engineering, and also in your learning process. Yeah, that's maybe my advice. And I think there are a lot of great advices how to manage your machine learning projects in your channel. So try to apply them.
That's amazing. Thank you. So thanks for joining us today and sharing all this information with us.
Thank you for the invitation, and I hope you're enjoying your vacation right now.
I hope so too. Okay. Goodbye.
Bye.